Hey, what's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing well. Just wanted to check in and share my thoughts on some of the things going on in the world, particularly as it relates to much of what we're seeing right now as it relates to 50 Cent and Ice Cube and just all of these guys that are out there. I just wanted to share my thoughts. And the main thing I wanted to say is that I've been looking at so much of the commentary that's been going on of whether people like Ice Cube and 50 are sellouts, whether people like Diddy and other people are selling out the community by these conversations about holding the vote for hostage and all of this other type of stuff. And really, quite honestly, at the end of the day, what is really important that I share is the fact that the 50 Cent and Ice Cube do not speak for me. And they don't speak for many of the black people that I know. And it's not to say that we're a monolith, but what bothers me about the whole 50 Cent and Ice Cube attention that they're getting in the media right now is that for so long people have pinned these individuals, these black entertainers, as our black leaders. And it becomes extremely problematic because so many people are media types. They're looking for them for advice. I can't tell you how many times. Well, I can tell you because you've seen it before. How many times where you see people turn on the television for pressing issues facing the black community, from Black Lives Matter to the election, and the guests are people like Charles Barkley, right? And I'm sitting here saying to myself, why aren't people valuing black intellectuals as they should? Now, luckily we've been able to see obviously people like the Michael Eric Dysons of the world on television sharing their opinions. The Dr. Ibram Kendis, the Ta-Nehisi Coates, of course, they've been showing people that there are black intellectuals out there who are out there speaking with knowledge and history. But for so many of these other guys, the media, CNN, these other networks, they see these entertainers as our leaders. And that's a huge problem for me. I remember when Chris Rock had a movie out a couple of years ago called Good Hair, and these media outlets were calling him a black hair expert. Steve Harvey had a book out talking about women and relationships, and people were calling him a marriage expert, a relationship expert. And I don't see that happening with other cultures. I don't see people bringing up, I don't know, people like Taylor Swift to get her thoughts on the election. I don't see them bringing up people like Angelina Jolie to get her thoughts on, as an expert on adoption and the like. And those types of issues really show how much people value the intellectual mind of black people in this country. We have real black marriage experts, black marriage psychologists and therapists and the like, who are out there writing books and doing their work in the community to help people heal their relationships. We have real black hair experts. We have people who've written doctoral dissertations on issues relating to black hair, whether it's suspensions and issues in school to just a phenomenon where people just wanted to touch black hair whenever they see it. But they don't get that same type of attention as other experts do in other fields. That's a challenge. And that's why that's the other issue with this 50 Cent Ice Cube thing. And I know that there's a little bit of nuances between what 50 Cent did and what Ice Cube did and the like. But the fact of the matter is these two entertainers should not be getting such prominence online, on television, on news networks. And I'm not Laura Ingraming them by saying, just shut up and make your music. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is these are not the people we should be looking to as people to push forward and put forth a black agenda. And when we start doing that, we're setting ourselves up to be disappointed because, quite honestly, once these guys start getting famous, as Farrakhan said once about O.J. Simpson, it's not so much that they sell out; they're drawn out. They're pulled out by the lure of money, by the lure of finances, by the women, by the drugs. Jay-Z said that once you become famous, all of your imperfections can get basically put on miracle growth. So if you're into drugs, you can get more drugs. If you're into women, you can get more women. If you're into gambling, you can gamble with more money. So once these people start to experience certain levels of fame, they stop speaking for the communities that they come from. And quite honestly, I've been listening to 50 Cent since How to Rob, and I can't, way back when, and I can't remember ever hearing anything uplifting about the black community. Now, granted, I haven't heard every song, but the fact of the matter is, it doesn't surprise me now in retrospect that he will say in his tweet supporting Trump that I don't care if he doesn't like black people. 50 Cent's music doesn't act like he likes black people. So why should we be surprised? So really, at the end of the day, what I'm hoping that we'll all do, networks, individuals, leaders, teachers, young people, is really take a hard look at why the demand of what we ask for our black entertainers is not the same of what other people ask of their entertainers. And that'll take you into a very interesting historical perspective on how the black entertainer has always been put forth by other people to say that these are the people that we need to follow. And quite honestly, many of those entertainers are not beholden to issues relating to the black community because we're not signing their paychecks. And so when I think about what's happening on 50 Cent and Ice Cube, it's sad, it's unfortunate, it's not surprising at all, and there's going to be more of it. Yes, people who built themselves on black dollars, off the black community, off of the commodification of black women and selling this image of the sexual black female deviant and selling this image of the black man as thug and nothing else. And these are the guys that are propped up. And we want to give them the type of attention that they really don't deserve. And again, it's taken away from the other real intellectuals out there, the Eddie Glauds, or even the activists, right? It's not just about the degree. It's about the people who have shown true dedication to black empowerment. And those could be people with degrees. It could be people with no D. People who are just out there every single day who have been about this work from day one. And so I'm calling on the media to do a better job of bringing these people. I don't need to see Charles Barkley's opinion on Black Lives Matter. And it's not to say that he doesn't, his opinion isn't important. But my point is, if you're going to bring up other intellectuals and other Democratic strategists or Republican strategists and leaders of these organizations, go and find those in the black community as well, because we're out there. And to not do that speaks to what you out there really think about us. And so 50 Cent, Ice Cube, at the end of the day, they got as many votes as I do. And they do not speak for me. And for all of the people out there on their posts saying, yeah, this is what black people need to do. This is how black people need to support Trump and so on and so forth. Nah, it ain't working. It doesn't surprise me that people who have made most of their career off of misogyny identify with a misogynist. It doesn't surprise me that somebody who is rapping about getting money all their life and may have financial issues or whatever is dealing with somebody whose number one job is not to protect the people but protect his money as president, which is why he hasn't divested from his businesses and all this and still has his products made overseas and the like. So what I'm saying to people is that we could be energized, we could be frustrated, but don't be surprised. And let's start shining the light on real intellectuals and real leaders of our community. And it doesn't mean that a real leader of our community is anybody who thinks like me. It's people who have been there putting in the work to advance an agenda that works for the majority of black people. And 50 Cent and Ice Cube, they're not that. And yes, Ice Cube has talked about different things he's done within the black community, and you know that those types of things are always respected, but he is not one of our leaders, or at the very least, he's not mine. And my hope is that this whole controversy, after people say, they're done with them and delete them from their playlists and all of that, they start going out and doing real work to kind of see the people that need to be propped up and help prop them up. And until we start doing that on a real serious level, we're going to continue to have these problems with these types of issues and more leaders from our community coming out and endorse people that we don't endorse. So at least I don't endorse, because like I said, they don't speak to me. So I want to share my thoughts. Thanks for Jordan. I appreciate it. If you could always see more of my thoughts on Instagram TV, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and LinkedIn, just holler at me and let me know your thoughts. I'd really appreciate it. All right. Take care. Peace.